Namaste. Hi, good evening, everyone. This might be of interest to some. It can get a little deep. This was a discussion that I had with a student. This was in August of 2001, so quite a few years ago. But it had to do with on the inner and outer. Okay. So this student said, this popped into my awareness while reading On the Path Beyond I Am page, on the inner and outer. Said I was having a discussion with a retired philosophy professor friend of mine yesterday regarding, amongst other things, the Cartesian dualism that is established when the description inner and outer is used to refer to our spiritual and physical laws and lives, respectively. Descartes established a famous dualism when he asserted that a person consists of two substances, physical and spiritual. This dualism has a fatal problem called the problem of interaction, aka mind-body problem, which is that these two substances, in order to influence each other, must somehow interact. That is to say, our non-substantial spiritual essences must touch our physical bodies. And for obvious reasons, this historically has been difficult to demonstrate. Franklin Merril Wolfes argues that substantiality is inversely proportionate to ponderability. Substantial here means a substance of primary essence, or that which is essential to anything, and ponderable means that which the intellect can understand. So this is my response, my reply. The substance of primary essence, which is source or consciousness, can never be understood by intellect. Intellect with objects is mind, which is created by thought, which is movement of consciousness into energy and form. Therefore, it is only when the five senses and mind have been stilled that the large that, which is abstract intelligence or self or source, may be entered into and experienced directly. Actually entered into is not a correct correlation. Absolute is the basis for all that appears as substance, and at the heart of all creation, simply that substance is. The student went on to say, it has been explained to me to mean that a rock, while highly ponderable, lacks substantiality, whereas a person, to the degree which she is not ponderable, is also not substantial. Franklin seemed to, I say seemed because I could very well be wrong, to hold that the more physical the material, the less it is spiritual. That is to say that rocks are not solid in a spiritual sense, but should be understood as being rather like little vacuums of empty space. This is borne out when one considers the structure of atoms, which largely consist of empty space. The more dense a substance is, i.e. lead, the more empty space it contains and consists of, and therefore, according to Merril Wolfes, is less substantial. I'm inclined to agree with the above. However, I came to the conclusion that the terms inner and outer were not useful for describing the spiritual material relationship, as inner and outer are spatial terms, and our spirit is not, in my understanding, spatially related to our bodies, but rather our bodies are manifestations of our spirit and vice versa. Therefore, spirit and physical matter are just two ways of describing the same substance. This omittance of the inner and outer difference resolves the Cartesian issue: substantiality, ponderability, spiritual material, inner outer. So I went on to say, all is created and sustained by the substance of underlying conscious source. When movement occurs, then the outer form is created and sustained. All outer form is simply made of cognizant energy, held in place by mind. Creation is empty in the end of concrete substance. It is simply consciousness that is moving at various vibratory levels, which creates the illusion of more or less substantial. But at the core, it is all stemming from the same source. So I hope you've enjoyed this. For those that wrap your head around those types of things. And for the others, leave it go and let's move forward.